This is bracing. So bracing is an involvement of, let's say, years and years ago we done core work. Now we've evolved into bracing or pillar strength, which basically means we're going to try activate the energy comes from the center of the body, which is basically from the knees to the shoulders. So that's your pillar strength. And what I'm going to give you a quick analogy, because this is really important to understand. If you have a full can of Coke and it's not opened and I want you to squash the whole can, would you be able to do it? You wouldn't. So if you leak holes through and the Coke, eventually the fluid pours out of it, eventually you'll be able to squash the can down. That's the way the body is. The more you're leaking holes, the more you're leaking energy, the more chance you have of overcompensating, underperforming, picking up injuries, and not lasting at a certain level for a duration of whatever sport you play. So what we're going to do here is to start, we're going to start very slowly developing your pillar strength or your bracing exercises. So we're going to start on the floor, we're going to do dead bugs. The first thing I want you to concentrate on is your back position. So as I said, the energy comes from the midriff and it goes out into the limbs, arms and legs. So when you put your hand under the curve of your spine, your lower back, I want you to imagine your hand is like a grape. And if you push down too much in the grape, you'll squash it. If you come up too much off it, the grape will roll out, okay? So you just want to touch the grape. And that gets you into that neutral spine. So once you're in that position then, I want you to start breathing from your diaphragm, okay? So from the belly, not from the chest, okay? So that's key. So take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. So the belly will rise up, and then when you're trying to breathe out, I want you to breathe every single bit of air out of your belly, okay? So breathe in, breathe out. When you breathe out, when you've got every bit out, that end point is bracing, okay? And that's when you will start to feel the pressure on the grape, your hand. So breathe into the belly, breathe out, squeeze that grape, and just hold that position. Now that's your starting point. That's your bracing point. Once you've got to that, take 2 or 3 times to get to that, just to practice it and really get into that form so you're used to it. Then you start to bring the legs in. Breathe out. Now I want you to lift the legs up, and you should get a little bit of feedback. As soon as you lift them legs, you should feel the pressure on your hand coming off or pushing down, okay? Depending on you. Depending on what sort of energy you're leaking. So when you lift them legs up, what happens your hand? What happens this hand? Does your back push down or does it come up? So from there, I want you to get a right angle from knee and hip, and then slowly I want you to drop one leg out, all the way out. Again, getting feedback through your pillar strength or your can of Coke, bring it back in. I want you to do 10 reps each side. If your leg, when you extend out, comes up off the grape, if your back comes up off the grape, that's replicating every time you lift when you're running, every time you lift that leg, you're extending the spine too much. So you're extending that part of your back, and basically you're leaking energy through that movement. So that's the first part. Legs in the air. Again, make sure you've got the breathing right. Hold, brace, slowly drop out. Bring it back up and slow. Now, you might find after 5 or 6 reps that your back starts to relax or you stop engaging. Just rest and then go again, all right? Next part. So we've got the legs in the air. Now we're gonna make it a little bit more challenging. The hands come up. So breathe. Now drop the hand over the head. As far as you can and back up. Again, you're trying to get feedback. What happens when you bring the hand back? Do you arch the spine, the lower back? Do you come off the grape? Do you push down on the grape? And that'll give us feedback to when you lift the hand, do you arch your back? Do you leak energy doing that movement? The last part to your dead bugs is hands in the air, legs in the air, breathe, drop one leg and drop the opposite hand behind the head and slowly bring them back up. That's very important because that's the way we move. We do contralateral movements, opposite hand, opposite leg, okay, opposite hand, opposite leg. So that's the more advanced. If you want to make that exercise harder, you can bring in resistant bands by pulling the band as you drop down, or pull as you drop down, or having bands around your feet, or you can push behind your head a wall. So if you have this position here, you can push the wall. That will create a brace through your pillar strength, and then drop it down and bring it back up. Okay, so loads of variations, you can mess around with it. So dead bugs is the foundation to get your breathing right, to get your bracing right, and there's loads of variations we can do of the dead bug, but the next step then is we make it more dynamic with some carries.